YouTube is LMERicoTv, man. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on. We got Unfoonk, how Young Thug's brothers snitch worse than Gunna, posted by 1090 Jake on his channel. So y'all already know what time it is, man. If you're brand new to the channel and you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. Also, don't forget to smash that like button as well. And also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos. And with that said, man, y'all know what time it is. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen record. That started and starting the vid now.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking
whole
with
time
me.
I don't even know
This
everything
video,
that he did in this whole
YSL
situation as well, like how he pretty much got on this stuff. I ain't really seen nothing.
With the release of Gunna's
this
new
pretty much
song
new news to
addressing
me.
his snitching, a video went viral of the song killing the vibe of an entire club. Dirt called him a rat while speaking with Akademiks. Boosie called him a rat while speaking with Vlad, and it's uncertain who actually within hip-hop is willing to stand next to him. But come to find out,
I feel like over the course of the whole past year, I feel like he probably really don't got no loyal or true friends left anymore for real, just because of the simple fact of what happened with this whole situation. A lot of people back in the beginning, when they first heard he was getting out and how he was getting out, some people felt like he did snitch in a way, even though he didn't really name drop anybody in any particular situation that they were all arrested for. But some people still feel like he snitched in general anyways by just saying YSL was a gang, etc., etc. But other people feel like he didn't snitch just because he didn't name anybody in any particular situation that they were arrested for, like I said earlier. So y'all comment down below how y'all feel about that. But I feel like either way, just because of the perception around snitching, he's not going to really have anybody in the industry really just out there openly supporting them for real, because a lot of people going to know that's going to mess up their brand and what they got going on. And logically, they not going to want to risk that, because they want to make sure they keep that money coming in the way they've been keeping their money coming in. So that's just not something they going to want to do, because they, at the end of the day, got a family of their own and stuff to take care of and stuff. So I feel like it's just a messed up situation for everybody involved, and that's just the way it is, man. No, it's really no right or wrong in this situation at all, man. So with that said, everybody is pretty much messed up in this whole entire situation. But with that said, let's get back to the video.
there's someone within the YSL indictment that not only snitched worse than Gunna, he full-on betrayed his own blood brother, Young Thug. 34-year-old Quantavious Greer, who raps by the name Unfoonk, has recently been exposed for snitching worse than Gunna in another case of selective politicking. One of 28 men indicted in the YSL case, Unfoonk also took a plea deal which spared him a prison sentence and ultimately set him free on probation. Charged with conspiracy to violate the RICO Act and theft by receiving a stolen firearm, Unfoonk would receive a 12-year prison sentence with 2 years credited as time served, while the remaining 10 years was to be served on probation. He'd be required to perform 750 hours of community service, stay away from firearms, and commit no criminal acts. But in return, he'd admit to a long list of questions specifically designed to convict those higher up in the YSL food chain, such as his own brother, Young Thug. As part of the special conditions of his sentencing, Unfoonk agreed to testify that YSL is a gang. He'd admit to being a member of the Goodfellas gang and becoming associated with YSL in 2019. He'd admit that in 2 separate occasions he spoke with YSL members on securing protection for a YSL member in jail and getting revenge.
And he pretty much had a whole deal just right there for him. All he had to do was just stay out the way for real. And didn't even take that long for him to do something crazy and already get locked right back up. So now he pretty much gonna possibly have to do all that time on top of more time. But at the end of the day, man, he pretty much messed that up for himself. So he can't blame nobody for that situation on anything. So with that said, man, he pretty much messed that up on his own. But with that said, let's get back to the video.
Another inmate for harming a YSL member in jail. He'd agree to testify discussing the use of a drone to fly cell phones into the jail and would acknowledge multiple gang identifiers of YSL to further confirm YSL is in fact a gang. He'd agree he has personal knowledge of members of YSL having committed.
Nah, this I would say he definitely did, just because now, like how 1090 Jake said in the video, he pretty much now name drop people in actual particular situations and stuff. So with that said, man, he definitely did do definitely a whole lot more worse than Gunna. But at the end of the day, man, a lot of people gonna still put these two on the same boat as snitching. So it is what it is with this whole situation all around. Like I said, it's messed up for everybody at the end of the day, just because it's really no right or wrong in it, man. Everybody is pretty much now already got statements out there that's pretty much still arrested right now, saying that they did this and that, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously those that's still locked up, I don't think they getting any chance of getting out. It's just too much of statements and everything going against them right now, especially Young Thug. He's going to get the worst of the worst out of everybody for real. So with that said, man, it's just crazy how he literally had a chance to be out and all he had to do was just stay out the way. But like I said, he just pretty much messed that up on his own. Let's get back to the video.
Criminal acts such as murder, robbery, etc., and understands that if he takes back anything he's admitted to testifying, his plea deal will be revoked. Not only would he sign his initials next to everything he agreed to, but court transcripts would also show he answered yes to every question inside of a courtroom and in front of a judge.
Tough. This whole situation, it's very much looking like it's a lose-lose situation for Young Thug. Like I said, it's pretty much over with.
He was pulled over by Atlanta police for the window tint on his Mercedes when they located a Glock handgun inside of the vehicle. Going in front of a judge, he was spared nothing, as he was sentenced to serve the remaining 9 years in state prison. But prison was Unfoonk's second home, as he'd already spent much of his life in there and would have spent the remainder of his life sentence in prison if it wasn't for Young Thug. Back in 2007, Unfoonk arranged the robbery of two men who had cashed a $1,500 check. Having the victims unknowingly driven to him, he approached the vehicle in all black demanding the money. They gave it up as he and the co-defendant went in their pockets, and when they told the victims to walk away, one of the men threw his jacket at Unfoonk, who opened fire, shooting the man in the stomach and ultimately killing him. Unfoonk and his co-defendant would be
Google Pixel Fold, the only foldable phone engineered by Google. Pre-order Google Pixel Fold and get Pixel Watch.
Dang, back to back now. Skip boy ass. That's tough.
Indicted by Fulton County in 2010 and months later sentenced to life in prison. In an interview with Beehive Atlanta, Unfoonk would share the story of how back in 2017 he was sitting in a prison cell when he got a call from Young Thug on his cell phone. Now a superstar in the rap game, Thug would tell him his new lawyer was none other than Brian Steele, the most notorious hip-hop lawyer in Atlanta who's currently representing Thug in the YSL indictment. Unfoonk would later speak with the lawyer who promised his release within the next 2 years, and in a series of appeals and motions, Young Thug was able to finance and essentially buy back his brother's freedom. A selfless act that would end in betrayal, as Unfoonk, who only served 11 years of his life sentence, agreed to testify against the very gang Young Thug is alleged to have founded. Maybe it's the fact that Gunna's a successful rapper that makes him the most hated within the YSL indictment. But in all reality, there's many more that have done worse against YSL and specifically against Thug, who have yet to be publicly shamed. Unfoonk is now on his way.
I feel like those people is not going to pretty much get too much attention, just only because they not the ones that's at the pretty much at the forefront of the media coverage and stuff like that. So I feel like it's always gonna be the main people that's got the most media attention and stuff like that that's gonna be talked about the most. Some of the people that's not publicly really talked about is probably just more so talked about people that's pretty much around those areas for real in that city. So they probably the only ones that's really publicly bashing them in public and stuff like that, and not necessarily on social media, just because it's not really too much anything they gonna gain from talking about it on social media for real. So with that said, we gonna go ahead and get back to the vid.
Back to prison, only to be reunited with this co-defendant who was never released and is still serving a life sentence for a murder he didn't commit because he didn't have a rich brother to pay for the lawyer. Now everybody hates Gunna to the point that they don't even want to move around in the club to his music. Everybody just sits still and waits until the song gets turned off. I don't know anybody that wants to collab with Gunna. Some of the biggest names in hip hop are speaking against him, but nobody is going against anybody else that cooperates.
Yeah, Gunna pretty much, I wouldn't say that this necessarily killed his career because he's still gonna have supporters, man. Y'all already seen how the whole 6ix9ine situation went. Y'all would have expected him to not have any supporters, but to this day, he still do. So that said, Gunna's career is never gonna be completely killed. It's just he's not gonna get those features from those other big name artists anymore because obviously with what's going on. So with that said, man, I think he don't even care about it. It's just he gonna do what he gotta do on his own. It's pretty much like how YB is. YB pretty much separated himself from the whole industry just based on all the beef he got going on and stuff. So that said, it's pretty much other artists that's already doing their own stuff on their own for the majority of their whole career right now. So with that said, man, Gunna is just on that boat on his own. So that said, everybody else, like I said, ain't gonna take that risk and mess up their potential of making money and stuff like that with they friends they got in the industry and stuff, because not too many people can have a successful music career without these features for real. So other than that, man, we're gonna go ahead and continue back with the video.
The case. Young Thug's own brother was serving a life sentence, and because Thug paid for the best lawyer in Atlanta, he got out. Only to come home, join YSL, 2 years later get indicted in a RICO, and then tell on the entire YSL and everything that happens within YSL, wiping their nose, slat, all that shit, right? Now he's going back to prison for 9 years, and he's gonna see his co-defendant, who was there when the murder.
At the end of the day, the way I look at it, man, there's really no loyalty in the streets for real. Like, it's only a few real ones that's gonna really be about that life the whole way around. They're not gonna cut any corners. They're not gonna only do what they feel is beneficial to them and stuff, et cetera, and stuff. But they're doing legit everything the way it's supposed to be if you live in that type of lifestyle. So they're not taking any plea deals. They're not saying anything about anybody doing anything and stuff like that. If they get pretty much take down in a situation by the 12 or anything like that of that nature. So with that said, it's only a few real ones, but at the end of the day, man, it's just hella risk being in that type of lifestyle, because at the end of the day, you got people that's really pretty much doing hits and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if they get put in a situation, might end up snitching and telling on everybody in the situation and stuff like that. So it don't matter who that person is, man. You just can't put it past nobody nowadays for real, man. So if you're living in that lifestyle, you definitely taking a huge risk, because anybody can be a person that's going to say something about something. So it is what it is, man. We're going to get back to the video, and the video is almost over.
It happened, and this co-defendant still has a life sentence, even though Unfoonk, or whatever his fucking name is, was the one that pulled the trigger. He didn't even pull the trigger, and he's still doing life for the body. See, there's so many rappers that talk about Young Thug having a good hide. And this is another example of Thug doing a selfless act, getting his brother out of prison, paying for the lawyer, giving his freedom back. He gave it all up. He's willing to testify. And the excuse is gonna be, I violated my plea. I got caught with a gun. I never actually testified, but you were willing to. So does that make him a rat? Because Gunna hasn't testified either. but he admitted to all the same shit. And furthermore, Unfoonk wouldn't have even had the opportunity to do any of this if Young Thug didn't buy his freedom, getting him out of prison, essentially giving him another chance at life. And even after, willing to testify, signs off on.
So everything pretty much came full circle in the situation. He pretty much did what he thought was best for him and himself only, and he ended up messing that up on his own, like I said earlier in the video. So now he literally right back in the same situation that he literally could have just avoided by staying out of the way. So that's it, man. He can't blame nobody, like I said earlier, and he did it to himself. So now he pretty much back at square one. So that's just crazy, man. I don't know why, but me personally, if I was facing a situation where all I gotta do is stay out the way and I could continue doing whatever I want to do and stuff, etc., I'm gonna take the opportunity and just do what I gotta do to stay to myself, stay out the way, and not do anything. So that's it. I wouldn't even put myself in a situation where I'm pretty much left depending on people around me to not say anything and stuff like that. Because like I said, it's really no loyalty in the streets for real. So with that said, I'm pretty much glad I'm not put in that lifestyle for real. I didn't have to be in that type of lifestyle just because I wouldn't have wanted to be in a situation where I'm literally left with my life in hands of somebody else of not saying anything or saying something. So it's just crazy, man, that literally you could lose it all at the snap of a finger in a situation like that just by somebody simply saying, yes, this person did this person did that, and that's it, that's all. So with that said, man, it's definitely tough to really have to go through these type of situations and not know who really has your back for real, for real. No matter, even if you know you've been having their back for the longest or however long, etc., and you've been 100 with them the whole step of the way, just to know that you could still possibly have somebody turn their back on you, and despite everything you did, it's not a good feeling at all. So that said, man, I already know Young Thug definitely just going through it right now, pretty much trusting all of these people that he looked out for years and stuff, just only for them to turn their back on him at the chance they could. So with that said, man, like I said, if you living in that lifestyle, you taking a whole lot of risk, for real. It don't matter if a person is a hitter or not. You never know who is going to turn their back on you when it's in that type of situation. So you got to do this at your own risk at the end of the day, for real, for real. So with that said, let's continue on.
Everything.
Yes, almost
the
over.
Judge to death. He only lasts 5 fucking months because he gets caught in a Mercedes tinted out with a Glock. It's almost like he didn't want to be free. He's been locked up since he was like 18, did 11 years, got out for 2 years, went right back. Now he's gone for another 9, probably be what, 40 something when he gets out. Probably won't even get out. Probably do some dumb shit just to stay in there. He seems to be more comfortable in there than out here. But it just goes to show you, it's selective politicking. Everybody wants to hate Gunna, but isn't given the same energy to everybody else involved in the case. And maybe it's because of Gunna's success. Maybe it's because Gunna is attempting to revamp his career after getting out. But what is anyone else doing that's anything different? They just weren't on shit to begin with. Gunna's successful. Maybe that's the difference that's causing all the hate. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090J.
Yeah, man, this video is pretty much over, man. Definitely comment down below how y'all feel about this whole situation. Like I said earlier, and like how he just said, I feel like pretty much the reason why those other people is not going to get the same attention and coverage is only because of they not the forefront of the, and pretty much in the light of the media. They not the ones that the media is really trying to make headlines off of. They want to make headlines off of the people that's got bigger names in the situation and stuff like that. So I feel like that's the way everything is going right now and why Gunna is getting the most hate right now, for real. So With that said, though, man, that's pretty much the end of the vid, man. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to the video itself in general, make sure y'all smash that like button and comment down below. And also don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos. And be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every single day. And with that said, I'm going to catch y'all later on with more videos, so stay tuned. Peace.